and charmed ones, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting day because I'm going to start a new cooking series on my channel, and I'm going to call it the Lazy Girls Cookbook. Why? Well, for a couple of reasons. As you guys may know from watching my vlogs, I do really like to cook. I do enjoy it a lot, but I tend to be really lazy about the way that I cook. I just can't be bothered spending like a lot of time cooking and putting together ingredients and making multiple step processed meals. It just becomes too much. I like to eat, and that's really the reason why I like to cook. So I like to focus more of my time on the eating and less of my time on the cooking. So I have decided I'm going to put together this series and show you guys basically the things that I would cook for myself on a day-to-day basis. I know you guys get a peek of that with my What I Ate Wednesdays, but I thought it would be better to do like a recipe kind of show. So you guys kind of have a cookbook of recipes that you can go back to, and if you need inspiration on like a quick easy meal or something that is the type of meal that'll last multiple days. So that's what I'm working on. So for my first installment of this series, I am going to show you guys how to make a really simple dessert. And dessert is something that I like to eat, obviously, but it can sometimes be cumbersome to cook desserts. I'm definitely not a baker, but today's recipe is going to be the perfect dessert for the non-baker. And since it's fall, we are going to be doing mini pumpkin spice cheesecakes. So if you think that sounds good to you, stay tuned because we are going to make it here today. Okay, so the inspiration for this recipe came from this Jell-O no-bake cheesecake dessert mix. I picked this up a few weeks ago, not this exact box, but I picked a box of this up a few weeks ago because I had to bring a dessert to a party I was going to. And I really, like I said, I hate baking because it can be really cumbersome and really, it takes forever, I feel like, to bake. So I picked up this Jell-O no-bake because when I was little, I think I'd eaten them before, and I thought, you know, let me give it a try. Let me see what I can do with this Jell-O no-bake cheesecake. And it turned out so amazing, and I realized I could make a million different things with these little cheesecake mixes. So this is the base of our cheesecakes for today. And so I have all the ingredients I need that are based on the box in order to put that together, which is a cup and a half of milk. I'm using 1% because that's what I'm using, but whatever you have in your house should be fine. I've got 5 tablespoons of melted butter. The box calls for butter or margarine. I have butter in my house, so that's what we're using. And the recipe also calls for 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, which I've got here. And in order to make this pumpkin spiced, I've got a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice as well. And I've also got a selection of little mini cupcake tins. This is what we're going to be using to basically house the mini cheesecakes. So I think this recipe is great because it produces 12 of these little mini cheesecakes. So if you have a family, you can make these and everyone's got their own little miniature little portion, which is perfectly portioned out. Or if you are a single person, or maybe like me and my husband, there's only 2 of us in the house, we make a batch of this and it lasts us like 2 weeks. So it's really awesome and a really great lazy dessert because you make it once, it's super easy to make, and you've got dessert going on for a week or 2, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and start cooking. Okay, so we're gonna start with the crust, and I'm gonna use a small mixing bowl for this. All you need to do with this crust, throw the mix in for the crust, add the sugar, and add the melted butter or margarine. Then with a spoon, just mix this all up, and it becomes really crumbly, if you can see inside here. Okay, so now that's pretty much ready. I'm gonna set this aside so we can go ahead and make the filling, and then we'll assemble everything last. Okay, so for the filling, we've got another little pouch. Step 2, it says on the box. It's the filling mix. I'm just gonna pour this into a slightly larger mixing bowl. And to this, we add a cup and a half of milk. From there, the box tells us to whip this with mixer thingy-mabobbers. I only have hand mixers, but if you have like a large mixing thing, I guess you could use that. You mix it for 30 seconds on a low speed, and then you go for 3 minutes on a medium speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll probably fast forward so you guys don't have to watch this whole thing. Okay, so my first 30 seconds is up, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the pumpkin spice mix to this, now that we've kind of got the base mix and the milk stuck together pretty well. So now I'm gonna go back to mixing this on a medium speed for 3 minutes. Okay, so that was 3 minutes. And by this point, you're gonna be able to see that the mixture is actually quite thick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it another swirl just to help any of this loose pumpkin spice incorporate that went on the sides. Okay, so that is my filling mix complete. And now I'm gonna go back to my crust mix so we can start assembling these. Okay, so with my 12 little metal cupcake tin thingies, I'm gonna put them inside of these two cupcake slash muffin tins, because I only have a muffin tin and a cupcake tin. That's how much I bake. But I want something just to hold it while I'm going ahead and doing the filling. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go back to my crumbled crust mix and start scooping it out into the bottoms of these little tins. And the way I do this is I just kind of start with one big spoonful in each first, and then if there's extra, I just kind of distribute it as I see fit. Okay, so those took about 2 spoonfuls each, and this is just like a little teaspoon. So now that they're in each of the containers, I just go in and press down and kind of firm up the crust with a spoon. Just kind of packing it down in there. Okay, so now they've been packed down. The crusts are now in place. Okay, so now for the filling. You can either use a spoon to just literally spoon this into each cup, but I wanted to make this a little bit more elegant, so I've got one of these like cookie containery, I don't even know what these do, some sort of cookie cake decorating kit. I have this little press. So I'm going to use this, and I've never used this before, so this is probably going to turn out into a disaster, so I'm really sorry about that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of pack this filling into the tube as best I can, because I want it to get filled properly. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and like press this down and fill in the filling of the little mini cheesecakes. Okay, so I'm just going to be very careful with this and start feeding it through. Wow, that looks awesome. Doesn't that look awesome? I'm super impressed with myself. I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. I've never done this before, so I'm surprised that I'm doing this pretty well. Okay, so I'm done putting in the filling into my little mini cheesecakes, and this is what they look like. I'll go ahead and put in a close-up. But since these are made with a Jell-O no-bake mix, I can actually just pop these into the refrigerator for an hour or two, and they're actually ready to eat, which is really awesome. I think I did a really good job. It was a little tough using that kind of filling machine thing, but I've never used it before, but I think that it was definitely worth the trouble because these look really cute. Like they kind of look like little rosettes, or some of them do. Some of them over here look a little bit special, but some of them, most of them over here actually look pretty perfect, which is really awesome. So when these get nice and hard, they're gonna be perfect to eat for a delicious dessert, and I've got 12 of them, so Mike and I will have them for at least over a week, hopefully. Hopefully we don't eat all of them like tonight, which could theoretically happen, but what are you gonna do about it? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first installment of my Lazy Girls cookbook. If you guys like this series, make sure to give me a like and let me know down in the comments the kind of recipes you'd like to see. I got a couple of different fall recipes that I have worked up my sleeve that are kind of like my fall staples that I'm gonna start filming for you guys. But if you have any other recipes that you would like me to show you guys how to make, or maybe do a lazy girl version of, then definitely leave me a comment down below. Of course, make sure you are subscribed for more awesome videos by me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. If you follow my Instagram account, you may already know that earlier this week, I was sent a very beautiful gift from one of my favorite stationery companies,